Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of The Grave, the podcast where I talk to friends, family, and even strangers about their paranormal experiences. Before this season started, I posted a teaser, and in it mentioned a Bigfoot story. And we have come to the point in this season where I finally am able to unveil that little tale. This week, I am talking to a lovely lady named Shay, who I met on TikTok. I posted a trailer for an upcoming horror film about Bigfoot, and she commented that she actually saw one. Naturally, my interest was piqued, and she was gracious enough to take some time out and not only tell us about her encounter with a Bigfoot or some similar creature, but she also had an alien encounter to tell me about as well. You can find Shay on TikTok at Jersey Girl Shay. As you will find out, she is a bright and bubbly person who I really enjoyed chatting with. So, without further ado, I present to you Shay's stories. All right, so just to get started, I know you said you have a Bigfoot encounter or something of the sort, and then you have one other one after that, one other tale.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I have an alien one as well.
Perfect. This is great because honestly, for me, like the majority of these episodes focus around ghosts and spirits. So to have part of the reason why I was so intrigued to talk to you was because obviously Bigfoot's a little outside of the realm of what I normally discuss. But if you have an
Right.
alien and Bigfoot, that is amazing. So this would be great.
Yeah.
So before we get into those, just real quick, I kind of wanted to just get your a sense of where you stand on the paranormal at large, whether that's ghosts, whether that's aliens, Bigfoot, whatever it is. Kind of what's your headspace around topics like that?
I absolutely love it because I've been, experiencing paranormal stuff since I was about 10 years old.
Oh, so you have a lifelong situation going on.
I do.
Okay, wow, that's interesting. So you've had a bunch of things happen.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. Well, if any other events pop up in your mind, you let me know if you want to discuss.
Okay.
But yeah, so basically, I'm gonna let you go. I will interrupt. If I need clarification or just have a question on something. But for the most part, I'm just here to listen to your stories.
Okay. So this was obviously now, several years ago when my oldest son was maybe 10 years old. And I had him and I had my middle son. And I just went through a terrible divorce, so I had to move. So we moved from one part of Georgia to a farm. And this farm had a bunch of different animals, roosters. I even saw a king cobra. It was about 4 feet long, I guess you can say.
Oh,
Scared
wow.
the crap out of me.
Sure.
This was, it's the first time I've ever seen one of those.
Yeah.
And roosters, there was chickens, there were goats, there was a big old pig,
Right.
rabbits, and it was just a bunch of land. And I have to be careful as to what I say because I don't want people to look up, like exactly where we were. Because
Sure.
if I say specific stick and say, oh, let me look this up real quick. I'll just give you my story.
Yep.
So
Fair enough.
it was a lot of land. And the person that we stayed with at the time presented himself to be something that he totally wasn't. And it was absolutely insane. So, just from being disturbed, in my sleep from the roosters just cock-a-doodle-doodling, early in the morning.
Yeah, as they do.
Yeah, like they're really, really loud. Like I don't even need an alarm clock because these roosters are just so loud. So it was just like out of nowhere. And this person told me stories about Bigfoot. He said that there were at least 6 surrounding the house.
Multiple.
Yes. Before me and my oldest son had our own encounter with this Bigfoot. He said they were surrounding the house and they smell horrible. They have the worst stench. I can't even describe the stench to you, but it's bad. It's really, really bad. And he said they were really loud. It was just kind of like making these like grunting noises, and they was, kind of like just walking around, and he was terrified, but as I stated, he was somebody. He said he was somebody, but he really was something else.
Got it.
So after I had that encounter, with the Bigfoot, I saw that that land, in my opinion, was nothing but evil.
Hmm.
It was evil. It was not the God-fearing person he said he was at all. It was just a mask. So
Okay.
we got to the farm, I think it was maybe like, it was way before school. So it was like during the summertime. But, you know, when it came time for my son to go to school, obviously you just, because it was so much land, I would have to drive him up to the curb. I wouldn't, you know, just walk him up there because it was just pitch black.
Sure.
So I would drive him up to the curb, you know, so he can get on the bus. But this morning in particular, there was no animals around. It was dead still. I said, yeah, something ain't right. There was not one animal in sight. Not one. So I'm sitting there in the chair, you know, just waiting for time to pass. And my son is standing there right next to me on my right. And I see this really tall figure, dark brown hair. It was maybe like 100 feet away from where I was sitting, where my son was standing right next to me on my right.
Yep.
It had red glowing eyes. I didn't smell nothing out of the ordinary, but I was frozen. I said, oh, it was like literally standing right up against a tree. I said, son, do you see that? He said, yeah, mommy, I do. I said, I'm not just like making this up, right? Like you see the red glowing eyes. He said, yes, mommy, I see it. I was frozen. We were frozen. We were just frozen in fear.
Yeah.
And it was right there by the tree. It looked at us and it just walked away. It was just passing through.
Wow.
But it was terrifying because I never seen nothing like that. It was about 8 feet tall. Dark brown hair.
Did it make a noise at all? Or like
it didn't make any noises that I remember. I just knew that it was there. That my eyes wasn't deceiving me at all. And that I was the only person that saw it.
Right. Well, yeah, God bless your son was there. Was it fully hair, or was there like
Full hair?
Interesting. So it is kind of like your traditional depiction of a Bigfoot then.
Right. Yep.
Very interesting.
Yep.
And that was the only time you saw it?
That's the only time I saw it. Now, this individual that we were staying with at the time, he also described the scat, like their yeah, exactly. Yep. He said, you know, their scat, you'll see it's kind of like big and like in a circle, and it has a stench to it as well. And it doesn't look like, you know, other animals, obviously, you know, they're boo-boo. And also, this is how I also know that the land that we were on was cursed and not good at all, because there was a literal, should I say that? I'm gonna say it. It was a house for slaves behind this man's house.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That just told me everything I need to know. And not only that, there was, so Bigfoot, Sasquatches, when they make like this whole, I don't know, they do this thing with sticks where they kind of cross the sticks and to kind of show you that they are around.
Oh, like a warning marker almost?
Yeah, that's what they did too.
Interesting. So you would see like little like sticks crossed to be like, oh shit, they're around or have been?
I saw that several times as well. Okay,
so just bringing it back real quick to, you made the comment that you felt the land was evil. And apart from the Bigfoot, like was like just this sense of dread or like even despair given the kind of slave connotation to the area, or you know what else kind of gave you that inclination that the land was just, you know, bad?
Just what you said, and also how I was treated. Me personally, how I was treated in that town. Okay. Yeah. Got it. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I mean, I do think too, like that's interesting because like that, I feel like that type of energy can kind of pervade a space for sure, especially if terrible things have happened on that land.
Right.
So that's interesting that you kind of felt that kind of same situation.
Yep, I sure did.
And I'm sorry that situation happened to you as well. I'm glad you got out of it.
Okay.
But I mean, you did get to see a Bigfoot or something of the sort, so that's
right.
Silver lining, maybe.
right. And then you know what? Also, I found it really weird because it was like there were a lot of goats on that, you know, on the farm, and there was one in particular. This joker was huge. He was as tall as I was. He would walk up right up to me, you know, so I could feed him. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh man, he disappeared. Like, what got it? This thing was at least 200 pounds solid. Where did it go? It didn't run off. Like something came and did something to it.
Oh man.
It just disappeared.
Okay.
It was strange.
So I guess that might just lead us right into your next story. You said you had an alien experience. Do you think maybe was the alien experience in the same place as this Bigfoot encounter?
No, it's literally right here where I live.
Oh, okay. Well, so I don't think the alien took the goat, but maybe, let's
Right.
find out. Let's find out about this next experience.
Just real simple. I have been wanting to see UFO for several years now because I also had a crazy dream a couple months ago about five of them, five grays that just walked up to the door, telepathically talking to me. I look through the door and they're standing there. I'm like, I'm not saying nothing, because from stories I hear from several different people, hundreds of people, they don't talk with their mouths. They speak to you telepathically. And that's how they was talking to me. It was like, open the door. I said, hell no.
Yeah, why
I
would you?
walked away. But I literally, me and my middle son, last summer, I had just pulled up back to the house from coming from the corner store, and the UFO was sitting right in between two trees, right across the house, like right across the street from where I'm at right now. I said, "Oh shit, is that what I think it is?" My son didn't see it, so it just levitated right there. And about 3 to 5 seconds later, it just it just took off. I think they just wanted me to finally see them, and I'm glad that I did.
Oh. What
Yeah.
was what did the ship look like?
It was circular.
Saucer like?
Yes.
And that it just like it sat there for a minute and it was just like, okay, you've seen, now we're out of here.
Yep. That's it.
Do you maybe think that the dream you had
Mhm.
might have been more than a dream? Maybe some sort of telepathic, like you saw the alien, or the dream happened after you saw the ship, right?
Yes.
So I'm just wondering maybe if there's some connective tissue there. Where did it feel like more than a dream?
I was so calm and it was strange. And I think it's because I've experienced all this different paranormal stuff growing up until, being now 42 years old.
Hmm.
It didn't phase me like that. And like in my dream, they didn't just pop up at the house at the door. They literally crashed into my friend's house right here on the corner. Like the ship was inside, sticking outside the house and inside of the house. It was strange. I heard it. I looked out the window. I wasn't freaking out or nothing like that. I was like, oh, okay. I see and hear the crash. It's on fire. Nobody's hurt. And then something said, come to the door. And I pull the shade up and there's five grays standing at the door and looking at me like I'm crazy. I'm looking at them like they crazy. Like, what y'all doing here? What you doing here? Open the door. And I said, hell no. And I just walked up,
Yep.
and went about my business. And I woke up and I didn't scream and holler or nothing.
It's interesting that you were so calm. I feel like even in
Mm-hmm.
a dream, I would be like, I gotta freak out now. This is too much.
I didn't.
That, that's interesting. So yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
I had one similar, not similar. I was driving down Route 9, and I live in Connecticut,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw, and my wife says she didn't see it, but I'm pretty sure she did, and she just doesn't want to say she did. But
Right.
there was like this, it was like a golden, almost like chrome saucer looking
Mm-hmm.
thing, and it hovered like right in front of the highway, and then
Mm-hmm.
just like within like a blink of an eye disappeared. And
Mm-hmm.
I turned to my wife and I was like, holy shit, did you just see that? And she was like, what? And I was like, the thing in the sky. And she's like, it's like a plane or something. I was like, oh, so you did see it? She was like, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but and I was like, you can't explain this, and I know I can't.
Right.
But we just don't speak of it because I think it freaked her out too much.
I think so too.
Yeah, as it should.
Right.
Um, wow. All right. So Bigfoot and aliens. That's pretty wild. And just to close again, these interviews can be as long or short as we want. But you said you've been experiencing things since you were 10. Have you experienced paranormal things with like ghosts and spirits as well?
Oh yeah, like okay, for example, when I was growing up, because my username on my page is Jersey Go Shay because I'm from New Jersey.
Hmm.
So, I grew up in New Jersey and was there for a very long time until we moved here. And my uncle, one of my uncles had passed away. And I think it was maybe like a week or so after he passed away. So I was in my bedroom and I walked up front to the living room and I was talking to my brother and he was talking about our uncle. So as he's talking about him, the lights start flickering on and off. I said, yeah, I'm out. Bye. Bye, I'm out. I'm not doing this today. I don't got time. I'm not doing this today. I'm out. Because he is here. He's fucking with the lights. I'm out.
It was just like perfect timing where like you were talking about it. It was
Right.
just like
Hello.
I'm hanging around. Have you ever had an experience where like you saw like an actual like apparition or you know, even just like, watch a door open and shut or something like that?
Yeah, like really, like literally where we are right now, I feel like there's a portal here.
You know what? The very first episode I had on this season, I had a girl on here, and she was talking about portals too. And I'm relatively new to it. But it's like, so what do you mean by a portal? You think like things are moving in and out of your home?
Um, uh, I wouldn't say in. I would say out because my pops is terribly sick, and I feel like when you're around sick people, as long as we've been around him, it's a door that's open because death is waiting. You know what I mean?
Sure.
For him to pass away. So I feel like when I saw that UFO last year, and I'm the only person that saw it, like it's something here, it's something over here, and I feel like my pops is the door. He opened the door because he's sick. You know what I'm saying? Like if that makes sense. It's so something can peek through, something can come through. And sometimes I'm not making this up because I don't have any reason to lie to anybody, and not you either. When he's in the bed at night, sometimes he has the cover all the way up to his neck as if death is standing behind the door waiting for him. Just come on. Whenever you're ready, I'm here. He looks absolutely terrified. And he just be watching TV. I'm like, yeah, something is not right here. Something's not right here.
Yeah, that's a terrifying feeling. I mean, obviously, death is a terrifying concept in itself, but yeah, I'm sorry to hear that too. I hope he's at least managing, but that's yeah, I've heard actually several stories like that where it's like because of either someone that has recently passed or is in the process of dying, it kind of thins the veil, so to speak. So that's interesting that he's there's kind of odd things happening. And that is going to do it for Shay's time here on the grave. And I will say, while she did not want to say where that farm was located, it certainly sounds like a place that is probably best avoided at all costs. But I appreciate Shay coming on and telling me her experiences. I definitely found them to be interesting, and I do hope that you enjoyed them as well. As far as next week's episode goes, I am once again trying something a little different format-wise. But this upcoming guest has some truly terrifying experiences from the Middle East, so stay tuned for that next Monday. Definitely one you won't want to miss. I'm going to leave it there for now. And as always, folks, thanks for listening, and hope to have you all back for some more scary stories.